Hello, in these videos I'm working on the bottom of the allotment along the back and sides as shown by the arrows.
Curious thing, piece of wood with electrical cable. Don't know what it is, but there's more of them. Just trying to slack a barrel that's just rusted through. It's all falling apart, so that's going, well, yeah, I don't think even the scrap man would want it. There are bits like this, which is on my side of the fence to start with, but then it goes and disappears. So like 95% of it is on that side, and there's no way I can pull that tangled mass through, so I'll just have to cut it and let Mandy deal with what's on her side, because if I try and pull it I'll pull all this lot through. There's bits that I'll have to deal with. Obviously I can't pull these out, I'll just cut them as best I can, and I'll have to work around them. But I am winning. Slowly I am winning. This poor tree has not had a good time. I've cleared some of the brambles around it, but it needs a bit of TLC before it fruits. This other tree, or rather stump, might have been a fruit tree at some stage, but it's got so much stuff around it, I don't know what it is. I'll do my best to clear out what's around it and then try and figure out what it is. Well, I'll see if it's any good, but they have just sort of chopped it and dropped it. All this lot, there's bits of it. I don't know if it comes out on camera because it's dark, but there's bits of it there, there's bits of it sort of there, so I'll see what I can do. You know what this is? Well, it's going in the bin.
I thought you'd like to see Mandy's plot, which backs onto mine, so I've walked around to the front of it. All of this is material that was recently cut from the hedges. Here is our resident elf, Jim, helping her out by cutting her hedges. He also helped her out to clear out the brambles from her plot by trimming the area. Jim's a very helpful man. Don't know what we'd do without him. I bought a new ladder, which will allow me to cut higher branches, especially from the tall trees at the back. I can use the branches of the tree as hooks to hang my tools on for easy access, whilst I cut the privet. I'm cutting the branches into small pieces, as it's easier to burn small pieces in the burn barrel. It's slow work, as I have to watch every step I take, as the ground is slippery and there are a lot of potential trip hazards. I have to keep one eye on what I'm cutting and one eye on where I tread. This is why I opted to use hand tools, as it was too dangerous to blunder in here with a chainsaw. It really is fiddly using a handsaw to cut the branches, as they're all tangled and it's very difficult to get the saw into a good cutting position. A chainsaw would have gone through this like a knife through butter, but obviously I didn't want to do that. The burn pile is getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Right, all of this fence is now cleared. the whole lot. Mandy's cleared her side, so that all that tangled mess has gone, and she's burnt hers. It's still smouldering a little bit, but I have this lot to deal with. So I'm going to do a burn here and get rid of this lot. All that's left is this overgrown privet. It's not a hedge, it's a tree now. And all of those thick bits of bramble, which I will deal with. But yeah, it's looking good. The problem is I've got carpet under here, so I can't really do a burn here. So all of this will have to be dragged across to the other side, but I'll do that. But yeah, these have got to go. I mean, these things, they start there and they go up into the trees and round, and we've cut the ends off, but it's quite a lot. The thing is, this fence has got things like barbed wire and other bits of wire and all sorts of nasties. Old beds and bits of rotten old metal, so they need to be get rid of. This tree, obviously, it's going where the fence should be, and it's leaning and curved into where the fence should be, so this has got to come out, as in immediately. It was so rotten that I just pulled that straight out of the ground, because you can see the roots that badly rotten. The whole thing is just this little bit left. Might as well get that out. And this is all rotten. You can see it was all rotten to the core. Just came straight out. Didn't even need to cut it. I'm a little bit worried that this one might be the same, but I'll leave it in for now. See what happens. I mean, it looks pretty bad. This all looks pretty bad. But then there are little buds coming out. Sort of there, and one there. So it's got a little bit of life left in it. It really is treacherous on the foot with sort of bits of tree that's being cut and dropped, bramble roots, tangled up branches, bits of stumps that I've cut, bits of stump that are sort of got moss on them, so you think you're walking on ground and you can trip on that. Nightmare. So you have to take every step very, very carefully. Whether you go forwards or backwards, very, very carefully, so I don't fall onto this pile.
It's time to remove the privet tree in the corner, but first I have to take out all the brambles that are tangled up in it before I can get to the tree.
Well, this privet has gone. It was actually all up in the air and very little here as a fence, so it's opened up a gap, but I'll put a fence there and close that off. But it's all rotten. And can't get in, but it's got a mould and fungus on it. These are all black from some disease, God knows what. I mean, that is not, that's the colour it should be, that's the colour. These bits that have been covered in all the weeds and things, they've obviously got diseased, so there's still a bit to be taken off. And that bit, I'll have to get that from the other side because there's all this metal in here and I really don't want to stand in there. God knows what could go through my foot, so I'm not going near that lot. So that will have to be cut from Mandy's side. And this bit I'll deal with later. I got myself caught up on the barbed wire, so I'll put those bits on top of it for now till I take it out. There is a lot of rubbish and brambles to burn, so that'll keep me quiet on Monday. Tomorrow's job is to cut all this and clear this area so that I can burn this pile and when it goes. It's as tall as me, taller in fact in some places, and it goes right across about 8 meters of the allotment. Whew. That is a big pile of rubbish to burn.
Jim and Mandy have burnt all the material that they cleared from her allotments. They actually sent me a message inviting me to join them in the bonfire, but I couldn't make it on the day, so they've said that I could actually go over and use that area to burn all the stuff that's on my plot. So what I've got to do is clear a path to Mandy's plot and drag everything across and burn over there. The first job is to get rid of some of these bits of branches that are put up against the fence. I'll just throw them over the fence and then I can burn them later. I put them on the fence to protect against the barbed wire that ran across the back of the allotments. So now I can take this barbed wire out. It goes all the way across, and of course it's sharp and rusty, so it needs to be handled with care. Then I removed all the other bits of wire that were woven through the posts and the wood at the back of the plot. And finally, I can remove the roofing material that's been used to separate the two plots, so that I can have a clear path through to Mandy's plot, and I can drag the branches across to burn. This rotten old fencing and bits of wood can all go on the bonfire as well. Dug up a nice piece of guttering, so I'll keep that, it might come in handy. At last I can walk onto her plot and work from the other side of the fence. They had a bonfire yesterday, so I was hoping to be able to relight it by just poking the embers. I did actually manage to relight it, but I didn't record any of the bonfire because I was too busy getting stuff on the fire. Once it got going, I didn't have time to stop. But in the next video, you'll see the cleared allotment. So goodbye for now and come back soon.